So why burnout and why now? To talk about why we covered this topic, we need to go back to 2020. In fact, the beginning of 2020, when reports of coronavirus were just starting to circulate in the media, we were noticing in ourselves a sense of pace and pressure in our own work, and a sense of feeling that we had many plates spinning. And what we found was actually, when we noticed and acknowledged it in ourselves, we started to notice other people in our work displaying the same kinds of symptoms as Katherine and I. And in the leaders that we were working with at that time, they were telling us things like, I am completely exhausted. I feel so thinly spread that I'm absolutely shattered. People were also saying things like, I have a crisis of confidence in my ability to do a good job. The imposter voice in my mind is louder than ever. And people were also saying, I feel, I'm questioning what I'm doing for my organization, and we're feeling increased kind of detachment or cynicism towards their work. And what was striking about these descriptions was that they're all pointing towards the central features of burnout. As the pandemic took hold, we noticed fear circulating in organizations, and whether it was people working for themselves and wondering how they were going to pay the bills, to those people working for an employer where they were fearing for their own jobs. We started to see a number of dangerous behaviors when it comes to overwhelm and burnout. For example, some people working longer hours than they'd ever done before because the boundaries between home and work were blurring. People working more and more to try and prove their worth, so they weren't the first to be cut if the organisation was making restructuring decisions. And also, because we were in the height of lockdown at certain moments during our research, some people were finding themselves turning their laptops on again at the end of a workday, because essentially they were so cut off from the outside world that work was their only means of contact with other people. And despite the pandemic now being behind us, this phenomena of overwork has not gone away. We know that research has shown that over 50% of the global working population describe themselves as overextended. So we know that overwhelm, in the book we talk about that sense of feeling too thinly spread, is a dashboard warning light on the road to burnout if remedial action isn't taken. And we also define burnout as a prolonged response to work-related stress, whereby people are feeling exhausted, an increased cynicism towards their work, and a crisis of confidence in their ability to do a good job. That inner voice of critique that says, you're not good enough, you need to work harder, you shouldn't be here, get a grip. So we suggest in the book that perhaps our relationship with work is one not only that needs to be fundamentally addressed, but our organizations are dependent on us doing more and more and more, which keeps us in this unhealthy cycle in terms of our relationship with work.